Ilm Ideas 2 was a program designed to do education a little bit differently. Funded by the United Kingdom's Department for International Development and managed by Cambridge Education, Ilm Ideas 2 invested funds in developing new products and services with the aim of improving education for children and young people in Pakistan. As we look back over 4 years of program implementation, our story is about learning and adapting, and about finding a balance between solutions with potential to achieve results and achieve financial sustainability. Ilm Ideas 2 did 3 things. First, we invested in testing new educational products and services and in taking them to scale. Secondly, we invested in business incubators to help them support education startups or very new businesses. And finally, we invested in strengthening the wider education innovation ecosystem. Our aim was to leave behind solutions that continue delivering results for children and young people, a pipeline of education startups graduating from incubators ready to enter the education market, and strong networks and partnerships that support education innovation. As the Ilm 2 program comes to a close, we asked some of the businesses we invested in to reflect on what worked and what they learned. We've grouped their reflections under several different headings. The first one is making the investment.
So it all started back in September 2017 when we had an idea which we had tried with Ilm Ideas 1, but we wanted to take it to scale. And obviously, in order to take it to scale, we needed more support financially as well as to refine the idea and establish more departments.
Ilm Ideas 2 gave us a very structured approach on how to think about sustainability. That's what we also thought right from the start, that it should not be just doing a project for Ilm Ideas 2. It should be coming up with a solution that is useful for improving the quality of education.
So EdCasa started with being incubated at the National Incubation Center at LUMS University. That's where we met Ilm Ideas, the team, and we heard about the application process and how we could apply to become part of Ilm 2. And with Ilm 2, we honed in on understanding our market.
So the nature of the contract was a bit tricky. In some respect, it really helped us because it made us stay focused to the impact that we wanted to deliver. But on the other hand, it also had its limitations. Since the contract was only for 2 to 3 years, we had to find a sustainable solution while delivering impact at the same time. Ilm Ideas 2 made it compulsory for us to start thinking about business planning and sustainability.
The contract was very complex in milestones. The way the contract is structured, it makes people like myself to rethink our solution. We had no choice but to go through that milestones and through that journey. So that really helped us a lot.
The first impact that Ilm 2 created for EdCasa was to put us on the map as a viable edtech business, as well as recognizing that an idea stage company could amount to something substantial in the education space. This was done by first putting us through a very rigorous competitive process that gave not only external stakeholders but ourselves validity in our business model, but also validity in the impact that we're trying to create. We felt that we were on the right path just because we were part of Ilm Ideas 2.
Growing the solutions.
So the fact is, internal and external, that helped us design and grow our solutions. External factor, definitely Ilm Ideas 2 programs, financial support and technical support, and the way they sort of kept coming back to us every 3 months and making sure that we stay focused on whatever the targets were.
I think the most important external factor was a network of Ilm Ideas grantees. We got a lot of support from our other grantees in terms of getting some good collaborations going with some schools and in certain areas with some female micro-entrepreneurs.
Ilm Ideas and the program, it externally forced us to have a proper educationist business partner. Our policies were not well defined. So that we had to really define and redefine and make them into an integral part of our company.
Our biggest strength is not only our co-founding team, but every additional person that has joined our organization. They are are dynamic people. They have a passion for making a difference, and that helps us achieve more than the sum of the parts of what we are.
Designing your product around the need of your customer is perhaps the key to the success of your solution. Innovative education solutions don't really exist in a formal industry form. So there's a lot of battle that all of our team members are fighting every day, just convincing school owners and the government that by implementing innovative solutions, they can actually reduce their cost and improve their learning outcomes.
So we conducted about 800 household surveys across Punjab, and we conducted 20 focus group discussions with girls and boys. So that gave us really good human-centered design insight, which helped us modify our product. Then when we took it to market, we were very confident that we had actually learned about the user and about their pain points. Our solution catered to that.
My advice would be to remain flexible once you are designing and you are implementing your solution, and you have to improvise to survive. So you need to change your solution to the needs of the market.
I think first of all we need to remove the students or beneficiaries word. They're not beneficiaries, they are consumers, and adapt according to that. Knowledge has to be fun, has to be driven internally. If we don't have engagement, we can't make them learn anything.
If I have to pass one advice, my biggest key takeaway would be that have patience. It always goes bad before it gets better, and continuously provide support to all the teachers and principals you're working with. Only with the passage of time you're able to see the difference.
Any entrepreneur who's out there and they think they have a great idea, I'd strongly recommend that before you start building your solution, go out and talk to a few customers to see if they really want the solution that you have in mind. If your idea is validated, go out and conquer the world.
Evaluating results.
We were able to achieve the results that we set at the start of the project. That was to have 50 centers going. We were able to do a lot more than that. We were able to convince a lot of people to go and invest in this innovation and buy this product for their schools and for their academies.
We were planning to have 55,000 students use our product by the end of 2018, which we surpassed. Over 85,000 students were using our product, and then we are continuing to increase that reach.
One of my proudest achievements is I visited our schools in South Punjab, and the kind of reception, the welcome that we got from the students, and the kind of feedback that we get from them of how we've made it possible for them to come back to school. So one of these girls that I met, she had a disability. She had previously contracted polio, and because of that she couldn't go to school anymore, and her school was too far away. But when Edkasa Center came near her, it became easy for her to come to school and to take these classes. So right now we're helping her accomplish her dream.
The most fundamental result which we are very proud of is that the love for reading increased. It was proven that when our books were being read in schools, the attendance was even more. So there was really great interest. So I'm really proud of that.
By the end of the program, we have expanded to 35 cities. We have team in 9 cities. We have a pipeline of 400 schools which are still interested in our solution. I think the biggest achievement would be just being able to scale our product, establish our departments, and then at the same time be ready for scale.
If we were to go back, I would have started usability testing a lot earlier. We now go to schools regularly, and then we put our product in the hands of the students, in the hands of the teachers, and watch them use it. Ask them specific questions that help us to learn more about our solution.
We should have spent more time investigating what kind of price should be set for this product. We kind of assumed that the price tag is already so low that people are going to buy it. So we had to kind of do a couple of iterations to come to the exact price for the products.
Things which we still need to know and gauge of our solution is more on the marketing aspect. What kind of solutions the kids would want, how are they engaged, and the consumer journey. We still do not understand the consumers the way we should.
One thing that we really need to know about our solution is how can we highlight the factor that creating a better classroom, an engaging classroom using technology delivers learning outcomes. And that strong connection between engagement in the classroom and improvement in the learning outcomes, how do we convince and then communicate this message to the people who are making the decision?
If I had to design a program like Ilm Ideas 2, instead of keeping a benchmark of the number of students reached or the number of children benefited, I would have focused on the number of products or the number of innovations sold.
If I were designing a program like Ilm Ideas 2, one of the first things that I'd do is increase the duration of the program, take it at least to 5 or maybe 7 years. Then I would be able to balance both sustainability of my grantees and then the impact that they're delivering.
Balancing results and financial sustainability.
When you work in a country like Pakistan, just achieving financial sustainability while creating an impact is one of the biggest challenges you have. It took us some time to realize that we need to get 3 things right if we want to make that happen. First, we have to make our solution completely relevant to the market. Second, you have to make it affordable. And third, you have to be very smart in targeting the market.
Financial sustainability remains a challenge, and I think it will remain a challenge for a couple of years for organizations like Sabak and others. When we started, we wanted to serve those who don't have great opportunities to learn, those who don't have access to amazing learning conditions. When you serve a market that doesn't always have the money to pay for your solution, what you do is you don't just rely on one stream of revenue. And by just looking at all of these revenue streams, we have been able to find the financial sustainability that will allow us to continue building our solution and increasing impact.
To survive and to scale, what we need is more partnerships. We have a great content, we have a great team. What we need is some great companies for outreach, distribution, and for scalability.
To date, we have about locations in 10 cities in Pakistan, primarily in Punjab, and our focus has been in South Punjab, where it's been traditionally very hard to get access to quality education. So all our teachers are experienced. They have at least 2 years of experience. They're all master's graduates. And to get that kind of quality learning for a girl who's sitting in Muzaffargarh had previously been unheard of.
Entire Pakistan, maybe 90% of the students in Pakistan have the learning disadvantage, because even if they're studying in good schools, they're not learning. So in that regard, we have been able to reach more than 30 cities and towns across Pakistan.
So in terms of reaching a larger number of those who are underprivileged, I think we'll continue to reach to those classrooms, those schools, and not only by subsidizing our solution, but also making sure that we reach sustainability by engaging private schools who can afford to pay for the solution at the fair price.
Sustaining solutions.
We're still not cash flow positive on a monthly basis. We're generating some revenue, but that will not be enough. There is such a huge untapped market in Pakistan of serving the need of primary school students, and taking those investments is one area. Generating revenue from different streams is another thing that will help us to reach sustainability over the next 2 to 3 years.
Education is an area where it is a meticulous process to delivering results, and it takes a lot of iteration, reiteration to make a solution that is actually going to create an impact. Ilm Ideas recognized that we will require support in the longer term. So not only did they support us in our initial stage, but they also guided us into approaching other organizations and other stakeholders who are going to be vested in the business for the long haul.
We saw that Ilm Ideas 2 had a very good team which understood the need for scalability and sustainability, and at the same time they would understand if there is a challenge. They would help us determine a new way of handling that challenge and support us fully. They were mentors, they were partners, so it was like working like a team with them.
How Ilm Ideas have helped us to be sustainable in many aspects. Internal processes, external processes, governance, policies and procedures, organizational development, strategy. We want Ilm Ideas 3 because we need the technical support, which is priceless.
I think the Ilm Ideas grant was very helpful in terms of marketing and outreach, and that was the most important aspect, and also the product development.
Ilm Ideas 2 really is the reason that we are here at this size. Before Ilm Ideas 2, we were bootstrapping, we were piloting, we were creating the product that we wanted to build. It allowed us to grow at a faster pace.
Will our solution be available in the market? Absolutely. Not only that, we will be the first comic book company of Pakistan who will have a music video of a comic book series.
My solution would be very much in the market in 1 year's time.
I'm very positive and hopeful that we are going to be in the market in a year's time.
Our solution hopefully is here to stay, because it's not just about the product, it's about the experience that we are building and creating and delivering. With every school that we have worked with, we have received amazing news about what it has done to the students. That is the biggest motivator for us to continue going, and for the people who are supporting us. Come back and talk to us in a year's time, and hopefully we'll be in a lot more schools and delivering better and bigger impact.
Strengthening the education innovation ecosystem.
I would say the education innovation system is slowly evolving. Maybe the rate of change is a bit slow, but things are moving towards the positive side. A lot of awareness has been created through this program. A lot of people are now aware that there are educational solutions in the market that can help the learning outcomes of the children. So the focus has probably shifted from investing in the infrastructure to the technology and the education and the learning aspects of the schools, and also for the tuition academies.
We've been operating in the education space for approximately 3 years, and the space has evolved fundamentally from being a novel idea that was predominantly associated with nonprofits to now being considered serious, viable businesses in the education space. There's still a sort of apprehension of associating business with education, but more people are trying to see and understand how business can merge with the impact that education is supposed to create in a sustainable way. So that has been the change in terms of the industry's understanding of how do we merge business with education and make it sustainable.
The education innovation ecosystem has changed significantly over the past few years. I still remember when we first used to interact with these low-cost private school principals back in 2014, and we used to talk about technology in education, and their first reaction was, this won't work in Pakistan. So there was a complete denial for a need of innovation. And over the years, we have seen it converting into acceptance. People have started becoming more open to realization of the problem and the need of an innovation. Now the questions are gearing towards how can we make it happen and whether we can afford it or not.
The ecosystem of education has changed in the past 1 year, 2 years, definitely. I would say one of the very good aspect is the Ilm Association, which has been founded by the grantees of Ilm Ideas 2. So what Ilm Association is doing is getting all these grantees together, all the educational innovators together, local solution makers, and inviting other solution makers to come forward to lobby, to research, to develop, and to engage with the local government and with the local corporate partners how we can make this space better, more engaging, and more valuable.
So the education innovation system has changed because it really didn't exist 4 or 5 years ago. And I think Ilm Ideas 2 will be looked at as one of the biggest catalysts that brought about that change. The fact that this supported these 11 or 12 organizations that were delivering impact. Ilm Ideas 2 also supported these new edtech startups and incubators and accelerators. So you go anywhere in Pakistan and you'd find a sizable number of new startups in these incubators and accelerators. So that just as a whole created that conversation where people are taking interest, people see that there is room for private entrepreneurs to come into this space, come up with solutions, reach out to schools, and the schools are beginning to take notice of the solutions that are out there. Overall, Ilm Ideas 2 was one of the main driver of that change.
So, did we achieve what we set out to achieve? What are we actually leaving behind? 12 innovations tested and developed with Ilm 2 investment. More than 360,000 children, and still counting, reached by solutions Ilm 2 supported. A portfolio of innovations with sound plans for sustainability and growth. Internationally recognized innovations. The UK Secretary of State for International Development selected Ascor's comic book Sheba and the Private Detectives as her favorite book on International Book Day, and Sabak was one of the finalists at the 2019 Global Education and Skills Forum in Dubai. One solution we invested in, Stride, is being scaled up by the Government of Punjab. 55 education startups incubated, with several already in the market gaining traction and winning awards. Establishment of the Ilm Association, a trade organization for education innovators in Pakistan. Ilm Ideas 2 tackled familiar education challenges a little bit differently. It's been an exciting 4 years, and we learned lessons along the way. We're looking forward to coming back in a year's time to see what's been achieved by the innovations we invested in, and we wish them well on their continuing innovation journeys.